Hi, this is The Greatest Story Ever Played. My name's Dan.
I'm Jordan.
And today we're here for our end of the year wrap-up show for our Greatest Story Ever Played Awards, where we hit up 3 questions. We talk about our favorite games we played for the first time this year. So this could be an old game, this could be a new game, whatever. And then we talk about our favorite game released this year. And then last, we'll take some time to look ahead to next year and talk about our favorite upcoming game. I guess one thing that's kind of wild off bat before we get into this is the 5th time we've done this.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was surprised to look at that. So this is the 5th time doing this. Pretty wild. I wish I had planned something special for it, but we're here. 5 times doing this. That's pretty wild. I guess it'd probably be fun to listen to all of those in a row and see what we thought each year.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, even just looking back, I can't even remember what games I liked last year.
Ooh.
Red Dead 2, I think that was last year.
Yeah, I think that was the last game we did last year.
I think that was my favorite. It's hard to remember what game I played what year as well.
It does kind of blend together. I feel like after a while, looking at games, I'm like, all right, I know we played that sometime. I remember liking it. I don't remember when I liked it. Like some of that definitely blends. And then some games it'll be like, oh, that was a long time ago, and it just I remember it that way, but I couldn't place it. But yeah, I guess let's hop in.
Yeah.
To our first question. What we're gonna do here for our favorite game we played this time, or we played for the first time this year. We'll just go back and forth and kind of go 3 up to 1. What was your first one that you want to talk about?
Portal. Played for the first time this year. Well, I guess that's not entirely true. I played like a couple levels a while ago, probably back in like early college days, whatever. But I wouldn't call it really playing it. So this, I'd say Portal, which we just recorded on recently.
Yeah.
So I haven't also played that many games this year, but Portal is really good and tons of fun, as we talked about on our episode.
I agree. Portal is a lot of fun. I really liked recording that and playing that game. Different than games I've played, for sure. I feel like you're right, too. I don't know that it counts since you only played a little bit of it before. Like, in my mind, I don't feel like I played a game until I finished it. Like, even if it was a game I dropped off on because I didn't like, I don't know if I can say I played it. I would have to say, I got around this far and I didn't like it. Like I don't feel like I would say I've played this and I don't like it because if I don't finish it, I don't know. That doesn't seem fair to judge a thing.
Unless you like at the very end of it, but you technically don't finish it. Like at that point, you just like, I don't like it. I'm not going to beat it.
Yeah, I guess if you got far enough, maybe. Yeah. Or I guess if you didn't finish it, but it was good, and you're like, I think I got all of it. Yeah. I guess that could happen too. That's a good point also. You didn't play a lot of games because you got a new baby, if people don't remember. So you have a little less games than past years that you've played. Yeah,
I think I've played... I don't even know how many, like 5?
Probably that 5 to 10 range, somewhere in there would be my guess.
I can't remember. Yeah. Well, Portal.
Yeah, Portal. Good
number 3. Yeah.
Good number 3.
I don't want to sit here in silence while I think about what games I've played.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm cheating. I put 2 options for my number 3. I would have probably put 1 as an honorable mention, but I couldn't decide between them. And they're pretty different games, so I'm just going to bring them both up. So, my number 3 is a tie between Return of the Obra Dinn and Mass Effect 2. Return of the Obra Dinn, really cool game. It's like a mystery kind of puzzle type game that has pretty cool art style, and you like travel around a ship trying to figure out what happened on it.
Right.
It's pretty cool. I would say it's one of the more unique games that I've played, like not just this year, but in the podcast in general. So,
oh wow, cool.
Pretty interesting game. Like that quite a bit. And then Mass Effect 2, finally picked that up again. they put out the Legendary Edition on PlayStation and Xbox a year or two ago, and so now it's all remastered. It's not playing on PS3, which is great. And Mass Effect 2 was awesome. I can see I felt like I got a lot more of the glimpse of why this franchise is so loved. I think when we played the first one a few years ago, I was like, oh, this is like cool. But also sort of that feeling of like, oh, this is the A New Hope probably. And like, I kind of like what I'm seeing, but I'm not bought in. Mass Effect 2 definitely was the Empire Strikes Back kind of thing. And you're like, all right, this is dope. I'm into this.
Yeah.
So I like that a lot. And I'm looking forward to playing Mass Effect 3 sometime next year.
Is that there's a fourth one, right?
There's a fourth one that's not related as far as I know, called Andromeda.
Okay.
Andromeda or something, but I think people like it less. But
yeah, it makes sense.
I don't know if I don't know enough about it if it's people don't like it or if it's people don't like it compared to the trilogy, and so it's like is it a no-win situation? I don't know.
Fair.
I don't know enough about it, but
yeah,
I figure I will play it again. Play that someday. As I continue through these. But Mass Effect 2, very cool.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. I've never heard of Return of the Obra Dinn, but that sounds interesting. Did you record an episode on that?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, I had some people on, the guys from Do You Want to Continue, and it was fun chatting with them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Number 2 for me is Pokemon Legends Arceus. And we recorded on this. Yeah, we did record this. This is one of the few games I played this year. Honestly, this is a game that I got when, my baby, her name is Rory. She was a couple weeks old, I think. And yeah, I played this a ton between like the hours of, 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. when she was crying and would only fall asleep if I was holding her. And, having a Switch, I could hold her and play Switch. which is great. So she would be sleeping in my arms and I'd be playing Pokemon. But yeah, so this game, sentimental value for me in that sense. But also, I just am a huge fan of Pokemon and love most of the games. And this one especially, with the more open world and being able to catch Pokemon without going into a battle scene, being able to fight without going into like the battle scene, like just open world battling. Really sweet. Huge moves for the series. I had a ton of fun playing it, and it kind of kept me alive for like about a month.
Yeah, no, that's helpful. And in that time too, it was so helpful of a game that you could play for 10 minutes and something could actually happen.
Yep.
Yeah, I had a blast playing Arceus. I think that would be around my top 5. I would have kept it going beyond my cheating 4.
Yeah, you cheater.
Arceus was great. I really enjoyed Arceus. I thought it was fun. I liked talking about it when we recorded our episode on it. And love catching Pokemon without battling. Oh my god. That's a game changer.
Yeah. Wish they would have kept that in the new game. That's stupid Nintendo, or Game Freak, whatever. Yeah, but really fun game. Really good.
Yeah. That one, for me too, was the first game where I've wanted to complete the Pokedex. Like, it felt like the reward you got for like, if you catch 10 Pidgeys, then you unlock the Pokedex thing for this or that. It made me actually want to do that. Or if you battle a certain amount or, whatever, that kind of stuff. Like, it made me want to do those. And any other time I've played Pokemon, I've been like, I just want to do the gyms. I don't care. But this one made me feel that way, which I thought was cool. And I thought they really nailed that part of it.
Yeah, I did like that mechanic. It wasn't, you just catch it and the Pokedex entry it's there. It's like, well, you have to actually study the Pokemon, so you have to catch enough and battle enough or, faint enough or kill enough, whatever, with like certain moves. Like I liked that a lot. I was bummed there wasn't the gym challenge in it, but after playing enough, I was like, this is definitely enough for me.
Yeah, for sure. I thought it was a cool way to do it, of actually researching or whatever, as opposed to, like you said before, you catch one and it's the entry's fully here. Instead, you have to be a part of it with the battles and stuff. I don't know. It was cool.
Yep.
I think they brought something cool. I'm glad Game Freak put that game out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Definite fan. And I guess, as you hinted at, I'm looking forward to finishing Violet and Scarlet and having an episode sometime next year on that, whenever we get there, and being able to probably have full comparisons, because at least for me, I'm only partway through that game, so
Yeah, I'm not done with it yet, but I'm getting closer.
yeah, I think I'm like 40% maybe.
Yeah,
40 to 50,
I'm
something like that.
more than that. 80%.
Nice.
Yeah, played a ton over some winter break times.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, that's great. But I think that'll be fun to have that full comparison because like I have some about it, but it's like since I haven't finished it, I'm like I don't fully know what Violet is about.
That's
so
fair.
Being able to officially have it done, and be like, okay, this I liked in Violet more, this I didn't. That'll be nice. I'm looking forward to getting there.
Yeah, make a pros and cons chart.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'll go on to my number 2. My number 2 is Before Your Eyes. This game I thought was super inventive. This cool indie game where you'd have a webcam on and your real life blinks would progress the story forward. So the whole concept for this game is you have to relive your life and you go back through your memories and you might be in them for a long time or you might just hop forward. Like how memories would go. If your like first memory was when you were 3, you might have another memory until you're like 8. You know, like
Yeah.
a lot could change, or it could be the next day, or you know whatever. And so you just go through your life this way through these blinks, and it's really really cool.
Wow. Yeah, I think we've mentioned this before. So, you're in the scene until you blink, right?
Yeah, and that'll either progress the scene forward or like it might take the place of like you walking or something, you know, because it's
okay.
Or it might move you to 3 years from now. Like it can
Okay.
It can do either, but yeah, your real life blinks will move it forward.
That's cool.
Yeah. Also, it's on Netflix now, which is cool. So
Shit.
if you have the Netflix app on your phone, you can play the game on your phone, and it will use your camera on your phone. So if you don't have like a PC that has a webcam or something, you can still do it through your phone.
Do you have to pay for it? Like separate from your Netflix subscription?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So if you just have Netflix, you'll just install a Netflix app on your phone. Or I'm sure like an iPad or something would work too.
Yeah,
I would
anything
imagine.
with the camera probably, right?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, and then you could just do that, and it'll have you like download it through there for free. But super cool,
Crazy,
really cool game, super unique. Really liked it. I played this game at the beginning of the year, and it's like stuck with me the whole year.
That's great.
Like, I played it, and I was like, "This is going to be one of the best games I played this year," and then it was.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that gameplay mechanic before. That's cool.
Me either. Yeah, super unique.
Is it pretty? Is it like pretty short game?
Yeah, I think it's like 2 hours. It's not
Okay.
long. So I think it's like the amount of length that like it's not a gimmick, I would say, but the feature,
Yeah.
like doesn't get like old or like fine. This is what it is. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
And I think the narrative structure of like life go in the blink of an eye, your life has moved forward or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Like you actually experience that through the game, and it's short enough that you like. I don't know. I think they set it up well.
Okay.
It feels paced. It never like felt long or anything.
What happens if you look away from the screen?
I didn't do that. I wonder if it would count as a blink.
Yeah. What happens if you just like, hold the camera kind of away, but you can kind of see out the corner of your eye? I think I'd just mess with the mechanic and test the limits of it.
Yeah, I wonder if it would just count it as a blink.
Just speeds through the story.
Yeah, if it would just start jetting you
You're
forward.
cheating.
I don't know. That's a good question. Or I guess it would do the opposite. Maybe it would just slow down and like wouldn't count your blinks. I guess I could see that too.
So if you don't, is there a point where, like, let's say I just don't blink for 5 minutes somehow, and I'm staring at the screen, would the game just not progress? Like you would just stay in the same spot?
That'd be my guess.
Okay.
I blinked enough that it didn't matter.
Okay.
Like you couldn't. you just blink so much that it moves it forward.
Just have to try not to.
Yeah, there are times where like a scene I wanted to like stay in longer, and I'm like trying to focus, hold my eyes, like don't blink, and it'd still happen, and it'd be moving. So.
Oh, so it sounds like it has some replayability because you could go through and try not to blink at
Yeah, that's
the points
true.
you remembered.
No, that's true. Or I don't know, probably worth watching someone else play.
Yeah.
You might be stuff you missed because you blinked too soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a cool game. Mm-hmm. Sounds really cool. All right, cool. Number 1 for me is Elden Ring. So two things I like a lot are like Dark Souls games, and I like open world games, so combined into one game. Big fan. Yeah, I played this, I think, over the course of months. But yeah, it's one of my favorite games I've probably ever played. It's got issues for sure, like games do, but I think overall I really enjoyed the open world. I enjoyed the progression. I enjoyed like getting loot, just kind of the whole thing. Difficulty, various points, high degree of difficulty. Various points it was a little bit easier. But yeah, this is a game I definitely will play again at some point, and I think I threw like 70 hours into it maybe or something.
Okay.
Which I've put more into other games before in the past for sure, but definitely a game that I would play again and put more hours into.
That's awesome.
So yeah, tons of fun. If you like difficult games or combat that's hard, or open world games, I would recommend it. But at this point, people have probably seen gameplay or like know if they want to play it or not. It's just it's pretty out there.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, I think it's won most of the Game of the Year awards. Like, I think that people just really loved it.
Yeah.
Is it? I guess compared to your other Souls games that you like, is this one like equally hard, harder, easier?
It's really hard to say. Well, so there's a lot more bosses and more content.
Okay.
Because the game's just so much larger. So I would say that in other Souls games, there are some easy bosses and some more difficult bosses, but the sheer amount of bosses in this game,
Okay.
I think it becomes easier as you go, because you can just grind and you get over leveled and just kill things pretty quickly.
Okay.
But I would say earlier on it's comparable.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to compare because Souls games they're more structured, kind of linear.
Okay.
In the sense where it's not open world, kind of follow a route,
Okay.
And there's bosses at various points, and enemy difficulty increases as you go. But open world's like you can kind of go wherever you want to. So if you go somewhere really rough at first, you're just gonna get killed immediately.
Wrecked.
Yeah,
okay.
Immediately. But yeah, I'd say it's comparable, but I think a little bit easier.
Is a normal Souls game like 30 hours then? Like it's more of a linear. So this is like
25 to 30. I mean, it depends on how good you are.
Sure.
Or there's also content you can skip. And other Souls things too. You don't need to like do everything. I'd probably say 25, 30 maybe.
Okay, so this is like a way bigger game.
Oh, I mean, yeah, this is a huge game
compared to what they've done before. Okay.
Yeah, it's like cool. A legitimate open world RPG.
That's cool.
Yeah, the map is big. It's not like Skyrim big by any means, but it's really big.
Okay,
it's huge.
That's awesome.
It's a big game.
Everyone I've seen like online, like any podcast friends who played this, like the love for Elden Ring is very, very high. Like there are a couple podcast friends I know who have like they beat Elden Ring and then they just started it back over again. Like they're just all in.
Yeah, it's tons of fun.
Yeah, like I think the love for it is through the roof, and it seems to make sense. I mean, I haven't played any Souls games obviously, but I think they're probably too hard for me.
This one.
Do you think this would be the easiest entry point if I were to try a Souls game? Or like Souls or Bloodborne or Sekiro or whatever?
Yeah,
Sekiro's the hardest, right?
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, sure, you could do Sekiro. It's just it's so hard.
I'm not going to do Sekiro.
Yeah, I beat it, and it took me a long time of not playing for weeks. But yeah, I'd say this one because it's the most it's the most like I don't know how to put this. Like, Souls games are Souls games. Like, they're made the way they're made. This is still a Souls game, but it's made more like, it's like an open world RPG.
Okay.
But still a Souls game. I don't know. Yeah, I'd say this one.
Okay.
Short answer, yes.
Okay. I guess that, like you said, that you could get over leveled. So if you have to grind for a while in the beginning, but then you get powerful enough, then you could have the game ultimately become easier.
Yeah, and you can grind in other Souls games, but there's just things you have to do, right? And there's like progression of things. But in this game, you can skip a lot of the content if it's too hard. I think I forget. I made a list at one point of like the things you just have to do, and it's like, I don't know, 20% of what you can do, or like 30% or something. It's they give you a lot of freedom.
Okay, so you could find yourself in a spot where like you do all of the easy optional stuff or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Skip all the hard optional stuff and then do all the regular stuff you have to do. But maybe by the time you get to some of the regular stuff, you'll be strong enough because you did a lot of extra easy things, sort of deal.
Yeah, and there's also
interesting.
Just look on YouTube. There's like tons of ways you can kind of cheat the system.
Oh,
and
sure.
There's like this. Essentially, it's an like an experience farming spot, and you can get overleveled really quickly.
Oh, there you go.
It's pretty nice. There's also like probably a YouTube video on every boss. There's probably 10 on each boss. So if you get stuck, you can just figure out how do you cheese this boss?
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that's cool. It seems great. Like the hype around it has made me be like, maybe I should try it. Like these aren't my kind of game at all, but just because I don't like card games really. But I think that from playing like a Vampire or Jedi Fallen Order, like those being of the same style at least, and getting to a spot where I understood them and was like, okay, I know how to do this, and not hate it. I'm like, okay, this is sort of the next progression.
Jedi Fallen Order, it's comparable as far as like gameplay.
Right,
it's technical, but it's like combat's difficult.
Yeah, and I'm sure I think that probably had an easy mode, and I probably played on an easy mode. But just being able to, okay, I can get this concept. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to keep that in mind. Maybe Elden Ring's got to be a thing, too.
You can borrow mine if you want.
Maybe I will.
Before you spend $70 on it.
Yeah, that is also true.
Yep.
That is definitely what I should do if I want to play.
You for sure can borrow it whenever you want.
Yeah, that sounds good. Cool. I'll do my number one. My number one is Horizon Forbidden West. Probably of no surprise to anyone. And similarly to you, I think I put like 70 hours in this game. I just played it a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played it a lot, especially that first weekend it came out. I think I probably played, like, over that weekend, probably played 20 hours or something. Like,
nice.
I just played so much.
That's great.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, I had an immense amount of fun with this game. I came in having pretty high expectations, probably similar to you with Elden Ring, of like, I love these previous games, and Horizon Zero Dawn's like my favorite game, and so a sequel, it's like, all right, those are high stakes, and came away loving this too. I think now in my mind they're kind of, I don't know, they're the same game, sort of how I view Last of Us. It's like,
okay,
they're separate games, but they're also kind of the same in my head. I'm like, I love them both, sort of deal.
So you wouldn't, if I held a gun to your head and said, which one's your favorite game, or which one do you like more?
I feel like I'd just be like, they're the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what I'd say. I don't know. I guess like I would say with The Last of Us, I guess I'd have to choose the one that came first if I'm required to choose, just because it was the first one.
Fair.
But I don't think, like, they improved so much on it. Like, they use the PS5 well. Like, this game looks amazing.
Is it also on PS4?
Yeah, they did make it cross. I haven't played it on 4 or seen it on 4, so I don't...
You have no reason to.
No, yeah, I don't have a reason to, but... also, this was why I got a PS5. Like, I made sure I got one last summer or whatever when they're coming out, because I was like, well, when Horizon comes, I want to have one. So I'll get it maybe a little earlier than I would have planned to, and it was definitely worth having it for. They added new mechanics in it. There's new world, just adding to their universe, and all these different characters meet. It was awesome. Had a ton of fun with it. Horizon Zero Dawn is the only game I've ever like intentionally platinumed, like doing all this stuff.
Did you get 100% on it? Like everything?
There might be one thing that you don't need to get the platinum to get
Okay.
100, so I might have like 95. But I
Whatever.
did all the achievements you need to get the platinum. Like,
Nice.
I looked it up and was like, how do I do it?
Nice. I'm doing check them off the list.
Yeah, and did a bunch of shit like time trials that I would never do.
Oh, okay.
But I did them
hate
because
time trials.
yeah, I don't like them either. But I haven't platinumed Horizon Forbidden West though, but I do intend to.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that when I was playing it, I started playing something else after I beat it and just kind of got into that.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely intend to go back to be able to get the platinum on it. Like, I loved that world and spending time in it. And great game.
Is there like a mechanic or a thing, just a thing from the first game that they improved upon that you're like, okay, I'm glad they did this, or like, I appreciate this improvement or something?
They added gliding, which was cool. I think that was a thing. I think also, I guess, since we're talking about it, I think Horizon franchise has been low-key fucked when it comes to release times on things. Because it came out when Breath of the Wild came out, same year, so that won all the Game of the Year awards. And from my understanding, has some similar, they're open world games, blah, blah, blah. But in Zelda, I think they had gliding. In Breath of the Wild,
They did have gliding.
They had, and people were like, "I wish Horizon had it." So I think Horizon this time were like, "Fuck it, we'll put gliding in." But then for it to come out this year, and then it's like the newest and one of like the best Souls type games coming out. So I feel like they've had a little bit of bad luck.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they would have come out last year, I think they would have just swept, or other years. Some years it's like there's a clear game that could win.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess even it's not on either of our lists because neither of us have played it. But the new God of War coming out this year too. It's like that's
I've heard that's really good.
Yeah, I've heard it's good too. It's not the same as Horizon, but it's a Sony open world game. So I feel like if two of them come out the same year, it could kind of make it be like, oh, they're both good.
Yeah.
And then Elden Ring is more like unique comparably. So bad luck for Horizon. But I mean, I think people generally like the game anyway. But
I'm sure.
Unfortunate to release when two of the best games of the last 5 years have come out.
Yeah, it's crazy how just objectively good Sony just exclusive releases are. Like, I can't think of one that's like just bad.
No,
there's some I haven't played, but I've heard they're good.
Yeah, I haven't played any that would be bad. I know some people were kind of either way on Days Gone, but I liked it.
Yeah. Okay, maybe that is.
That one.
That is exclusive. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like that one I thought was good though. Maybe not as good as Last of Us or Ghost of Tsushima.
No.
But like, those games are like
phenomenal.
Some of the best games I've played before. So
yeah, Ghost of Tsushima's it's maybe my favorite game. I don't know.
Like that's pretty high comparison. Like having a game that's a B isn't a bad thing to me. At all. But cool. Yeah. All right. So those are our favorite games we played for the first time this year. We asked online though, and we had some folks write in about their favorites. So first up, we've got Nikki on Twitter said 2 games that I've started but haven't finished yet, but I already love so much is Ollie Ollie World and Night in the Woods. I don't know if this counts, but I'm going to ask for a loophole. Playing Mass Effect Andromeda on Insanity to the list. It's the first time I played it like that. So I think Insanity is like the hardest level.
Yeah, that sounds like it would be.
Would make sense. So, and I think that's a different experience for sure if you're playing a game you've played before, but then you just crank it up. Like that's definitely different.
Was it like one hit kill or something?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Because that would be a way different way to play a game.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you're very familiar with it.
Yeah, it would.
But Night in the Woods, loved that.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked when we played that a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Raccoon.
Mm-hmm.
Adam on Twitter said Ollie Ollie World. So there's 2 for that. Have you heard of that?
I know what it is, but I haven't played it. It's a skateboarding game of some kind.
Oh, makes sense.
So I don't know if it's like a Tony Hawk kind of thing, or I don't know. I'm not sure. But I have heard it's fun.
I like skateboarding games. Skate 3 or 4.
Ooh, yeah.
Whatever that one was.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
I remember that. Eli on Twitter said, I beat the PS5 version of Death Stranding back in January. And I was really glad I came back to it. Besides that, Horizon Forbidden West It was super close between Horizon and God of War for my game of the year. So love for both of those games, like we talked about. Death Stranding's one that I like keep having kind of creep into my mind. When it came out, I was like, I'm not sure this is a me game, but seeing people like continue to like it as time's gone on, it keeps having me be in my head like, maybe I should try to pick that up someday.
They're making a second one.
Yeah,
So,
I saw that
yep.
as well. I had a time, this is a very specific random memory, but I had a time where I saw online that some Walmarts were clearancing Death Stranding, the regular edition. So they've had like a director's cut and other shit come out since then. But the regular edition for like $2.
What?
Yeah.
Like you should buy all of them and then sell them to GameStop for like $10.
That would have been the right thing to do. But I saw it and I was like, okay. And I think that it was maybe at a store that wasn't close to my house. And then I chose not to go. And part of me felt like, okay, maybe that was my choice to not play this game. You know, like when you could have bought it for $2.
Yeah.
Even if you had to drive across town. But then it's lingered since then, and I'm like, maybe I should have bought that. Or now am I just waiting for the
next Walmart?
or for the director's cut to, you know, be $20. And then I'm like, all right, fine, I'll buy it. I don't know. I feel like I want to keep thinking about it. Maybe I need to play it.
Yeah. I've thought about it too. I do see a lot of stuff about it. I don't really know much about it still. I just know it's like different than than many other games.
Yep, same.
Yeah. Justin on Twitter said God of War Ragnarok, The Quarry, and Weird West. Those were the games I had the most fun with this year.
I had fun with The Quarry.
What's that about? Or what kind of game is it?
It's the latest game from the Until Dawn people, who made like a horror, like kind of like Detroit Become Human.
Yep.
Choose your own adventure style. But The Quarry is their latest like full length one of horror game. But it was a lot of fun. It was like kids at a summer camp and horror tropes and all that stuff.
Oh, okay. I've heard of that.
I liked it. It was a good game for sure. I've not played Weird West. I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it.
It sounds familiar. I've heard of God of War Ragnarok, I think.
Heard of that one.
I do want to play the new God of Wars at some point. I played the 4 or whatever it is. You let me borrow it briefly, but I never really got into it. But I just need to sit down and do it at some point.
Yeah, someday.
Yep.
So many games.
Yes.
Last up, have Meagle on Twitter, who said, "Nobody saves the world. I will beat this drum forever if I have to." I have heard of Nobody Saves the World, but I don't know anything about it.
I don't either. Curious, though.
Yeah, maybe I have to look into that.
Yep.
All right. Cool. All right. On to our favorite game released this year.
Should be pretty obvious.
This one will be pretty obvious based on our above answers. For mine, Horizon Forbidden West.
Elden Ring.
Yeah, I don't think we have more we can say. I think we hit it up off top. Both great games that came out this year. I guess with your list above there, Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Yeah.
Great one that came out this year too.
It'd be my second, clearly, because it was my second favorite.
Yeah, I think that would be my second newest. The Quarry came out this year. I would put this as a top game I played this year too. Okay. I didn't play a lot of new releases, but those 3 were all good games that came out this year that I played. So I'm pretty happy with that. Sometimes when I buy games that come out the same year kind of thing, like, and they're not always great as, you know, what I want. Because I don't buy tons of new games. Usually I'm like a year behind.
Yeah, you're pretty stingy about the money. Which, hey, at this point, $70 for a new game, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, $70 for a new game. And also playing as many games as we do for the podcast.
Yeah, it gets expensive.
I don't want to pay full price for all of them.
It adds up.
Yeah. So instead, I just end up with a backlog full of stuff that I will play someday.
Yeah. How many games do you think you have in your backlog that you haven't played yet?
Probably like 40 or 50.
Oh, man. That's a lot.
That'd be my guess. Yeah, somewhere around there.
You're set then, so...
Yeah, no, yeah. I could very comfortably say don't buy games for a year, and you could just play those, and it would all be new podcast episodes,
Yeah.
and I'd still have games left over.
Probably.
But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to buy more games.
You got to. There's new games coming out,
Right.
as we'll talk about.
And deals that I want to play. That I want to buy.
You love the deals.
Okay. We'll move to listener feedback in regards to people's favorite games that came out this year. Alyssa on Twitter said A Plague Tale Requiem, closely followed by Dying Light 2. The first one is a rather obvious choice for me. The second one made me finally appreciate open world games in first-person style in general. And it was silly, but fun, and that's enough for me. I'm interested in both of these games, actually.
I've played Dying Light 1.
Okay.
And I would definitely play Dying Light 2, because I liked the first one.
I bought the first one recently. I haven't played it yet.
It's a lot of fun.
But it was, like, the cheapest it's ever been, so I said,
Yeah.
I will buy this, because I was curious with Dying Light 2, so I was like, well, I'll start at the beginning. And I like Plague Tale Innocence quite a bit, so Requiem
This
is
was the
sequel.
second one, right?
Yeah. Definitely interested in that and want to play that. For
Are
sure.
those horror games, kind of?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
they're sort of they have sort of stealthiness like The Last of Us has. Like I would say it sort of feels like that, except with less combat. But it has sort of a feel like that, and there's like plague rats everywhere and shit like that. So it feels a bit like The Last of Us.
Okay.
In some manners. It's pretty good though.
Nice.
I was definitely about it. Like I think they did a good job.
Cool. Yeah, I've seen some clips from I think the first one, and it had horror vibes to me. So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's horror vibes too in the way that Last of Us is also, where it's not like full blown scary horror game,
Yeah.
but scary scenery. One of the scenes early in the game scared the hell out of me because there's just a lot of rats.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Rats are kind of nasty, especially ones with the plague.
Yeah, it was definitely nasty.
Yeah.
But they did like a really good job with that stuff.
Nice. Nikki on Twitter said Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, Pokemon Violet, Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, and a high possibility that if I had played Tunic, it would be on here too. I've heard Stray's pretty fun,
Mm-hmm.
and I've also heard the Lego Star Wars game is really good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to check Stray out sometime as well. It looks like fun.
It's on the whatever PlayStation's version of Game Pass is for Xbox.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
on
yeah.
there. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So it'd honestly be cheaper just to
Get
pay for that for like 2 months and beat it, and not pay for it.
That's smart.
Then you wouldn't own it, but whatever.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Daniel on Twitter said Erica, Murdered Soul Suspect, Plague Tale Requiem, Horizon Forbidden West, Road 96. Those are actually all games I am interested in, except Horizon, because I've played that. But
You hate Horizon games.
but I actually have Erica, Murdered Soul Suspect, and Road 96,
Yeah.
all on wish list.
Guess they, so you probably have all those already fucking in your sights.
Yeah, I don't own them, but I've got them all on wish list of, I think, games that are under 10 hours that are pretty good.
Okay.
Or supposed to be good that have come out somewhat recently. Or I guess Erica and Murdered Soul Suspect aren't out this year. But Road 96 I think did come out this year. And Requiem and Horizon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Callum on Twitter said, I enjoyed playing through the Life is Strange remasters and am having fun with Gotham Knights, but I'd have to go with Horizon Forbidden West. Such a great game. So another fan of that.
Yeah, more Horizon.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I heard Gotham Knights is pretty fun too. I played the first Dark Knight game,
Ooh.
and I watched our older roommate Evan play through the third one.
Okay.
And I would play those games, just haven't for no reason.
Huh.
Yeah,
That's cool. Yvonne on Twitter said Power Wash Simulator.
yeah, that sounds really satisfying.
I think it is. That's what I've heard. I've seen a lot of people online be like, I was like, fine, I'll check this out. And then I played for hours because it's just so satisfying.
Dude, I bet. I feel like I would just zone out and do that.
Yeah, I bet it's like perfect for like after work or something, and you're just like, I just need to calm down.
Yeah, give me a beer and I'll play this game for an hour.
Yeah.
Set.
That's great.
That's awesome. Eli on Twitter said, probably has to be God of War, but Horizon was my favorite for most of the year. So another two big games there.
Yeah. Kos on Twitter said Weird West followed very closely by Beacon Pines. Another Weird West mention. I don't know anything about Beacon Pines.
I don't either. Interesting.
Yeah.
Came out this year.
Yeah.
So I could figure it out. Lastly, Griffin on Twitter said toss-up between Horizon and Stray.
Nice. More love for Stray.
Mm-hmm. And Horizon.
Yeah, and Horizon.
No surprise.
Yeah. All right. This will take us to our last section, which is our favorite, or I guess our upcoming release. A game that's supposed to come out in 2023 that we're most looking forward to. So, what do you got?
I have Jedi Survivor, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. It's the second game in the Jedi Fallen Order series. I don't know, whatever you'd call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've both played the first one. Really fun, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of everything we wanted in a Star Wars action game with a Jedi as the main protagonist. So, of course, I'm excited for the second one. It also comes out really soon in March.
Yeah, I think you're right.
In March. So, that game I will buy day one and play it day one. So,
oh yeah,
very excited about that.
Me too. I'm stoked. I don't remember what the date is offhand in March, but I put it in my phone, like, because I'm like, well, maybe if I want to, I'm going to take that day off work and,
just beat it.
Just play a bunch of Jedi Survivor that weekend. Yeah, super stoked for that. I'm really excited to see what they'll do to build off of the game. Like, I really like what they made for their first one, and I know people really like Respawn for making like Titanfall 2 and Apex. I think
I played Titanfall 2. It was fun.
Yeah. So like, and then them making this Jedi Fallen Order, it's like to see them continue with that and what they'll do, and I don't know. Even that we have all our characters on the ship, like, is that going to change things? Are they going to be with us to start? Like, I don't know.
I mean, because the main character is a fair amount older. It looks like.
Yeah.
Not like elderly or something, but it's been some years. So yeah, like where does this line up with the broader Star Wars timeline? And will we see characters we know from the movies, TV shows, whatever, or will it be something totally separate? Like, I'm excited to see how that goes and kind of what they do.
Yeah, I'm pumped. And I've been on a big Star Wars kick this year.
Oh, yeah?
So I think that also has me extra excited. I watched all the movies over the summer, and then...
All 9?
Yeah. And then... Or 11. I watched the, Solo and...
Oh, yeah.
Rogue One also.
I guess.
And then recently, I watched... I caught up on The Mandalorian. I watched Season 2 that I hadn't watched.
You need to do that.
I watched the Boba Fett show. I watched Andor. So, like, I just watched a shitload of Star Wars recently.
This is off topic for sure, but how would you rank Mandalorian, Boba Fett, and Andor? Like 1, 2, 3.
Boba Fett Andor and Mandalorian both are, like, high quality.
Oh, okay. Wow.
They're both great.
That's good.
They're really different. Like, Andor's great. I think because of Rogue One, like, maybe I'd put it higher just because I loved Rogue One. Rogue One is, like, maybe my second favorite movie. So
it's really good. And
Andor being a prequel to it, you're like, this is fucking cool. Mandalorian Season 2, also great. And excited for the next one of that. Boba Fett is more of, like, if Mandalorian had a side quest. That's basically what it is. So it's cool. It, like, adds to it, but it's less, like, have to do it sort of thing. But it was cool. I liked it. It was fun to... When I was just watching all these shows, I was like, all right, fuck it, let's put the next one on.
Nice.
But so I feel like I'm in a very Star Wars time. And so this coming in so soon in the year, like, I can't wait. I'm pumped.
Oh, yeah. What about you?
So mine follows you, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I also cheated and put
again.
Actually, I didn't write this one down. I'd cheat twice. Oxenfree 2. Also, one super stoked about. First game that we ever covered on the podcast, all that stuff. a lot of love there. And I'm just excited about their games. I'm glad that they make games. I thought Oxenfree was cool. I thought After Party was cool.
Yeah, I forgot about After Party.
That was fun.
Yeah.
And so this will probably be cool and fun also.
Does this have a release date?
No.
Okay.
It was last year.
It's been pushed back a couple times, I think.
Yeah, I think that it got announced sometime at the end of the year before this. Because I think this might have been my most anticipated last year after Horizon. And then it didn't come this year. So
hopefully this is the last time we have to say that.
Yeah, but I think they did say mid-year, they're like, hey, it's not coming. So they didn't wait till the end of the wire to say it. I think we knew for a while. But also, this isn't a full game, but Horizon Forbidden West is getting a DLC in May or something. And so I'm pretty stoked for that too. Because the DLC in Zero Dawn was pretty good. So I'm excited for that.
Nice.
Yes. So those are mine. But the one we'll be at first is Jedi Survivor.
Yep, in a few months.
Yeah. Also, I really hate their naming convention for those games. It's very confusing. I feel like they should have been Fallen Order 2. Instead of Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Well.
Not a fan.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I don't, and the way they spell it is weird. If you look at how they spell it on there, it's Star Wars in the Star Wars font or whatever, and then it's Jedi semicolon Fallen Order, and then
it's a little confusing.
It's I feel like it should be Star Wars semicolon Jedi Fallen Order.
Yes, that's how I read it too.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Or it should just not be Star Wars is implied. Right? When you say Jedi Survivor, I'm like, oh, okay,
that's true.
That's a Star
Wars
thing.
Yeah, I guess if it was just called Jedi Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor.
I think anyone, well, not anyone, I don't want to generalize that much. Most people would know. If the game is called Jedi Survivor, you'd be like, oh, that's a Star Wars thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's neither here nor there, but just a thing that I'm like, eh.
Yeah, you should not buy it now, I agree.
Yeah, now I won't buy it. No. Sorry, guys, your name is dumb. I will keep my $70.
That's right. Buy a different game with it.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Finally, moving on to some listener feedback for people's most anticipated game next year. Do you want to continue? On Twitter said probably Starfield, but with trepidation.
If I had an Xbox or the PC, I would play that.
Yeah, that seems like that would be a you game for sure.
Absolutely, would be, and maybe I'll buy an Xbox for it. Probably not. Daniel on Twitter said Hellblade. If it even happens. If it doesn't, probably Resident Evil 4. Is there some doubt that it's going to come out?
I wonder if it's like Oxenfree, where it's maybe supposed to have come out for a while and hasn't been out yet. For Hellblade 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Christopher on Twitter, similarly, says Resident Evil 4 remake. So, more Resident Evil love.
Nice. Clarence on Twitter said nothing else comes before a From Software game for me. So, sounds like a fan of Elden Ring and other Souls games.
Right.
And I don't know what... I doubt they have something coming out this year. Unless it's probably DLC, actually.
Do they do DLC on, their other games, typically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
they'll do... They did 2 for Dark Souls 3. So, yeah, they'll probably have 2 for Elden Ring.
Okay. Nice. Teddy on Twitter said Dead Space, Resident Evil 4, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and Octopath Traveler 2.
Nice. I've heard of all those.
I think Dead Space might be getting remade.
It is.
Okay.
It's either, is it a remaster or is it like a redoing? I don't know.
I think they're remaking it like these Resident Evil games.
Okay.
I think that because Resident Evil's remade their old games and they've been so good, people are like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We should do this if it's an old game that hasn't been around a long time. Let's just make it better.
Yeah. I played Dead Space, the first one, freshman in high school or sophomore in high school whenever it came out. It was pretty fucking nuts. Pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty crazy game.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Meagle on Twitter said, everyone's answer should be Hades too.
That makes sense. Hades got a lot of love. A lot of people really enjoyed that. Last up, Justin on Twitter said Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. It's about
That
5 sure, but be buying that too.
definitely. That I think I'd actually seen that might have a release date in the fall, which is kind of early to tell us the release date, but I think it's supposed to come out this fall.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which is great.
Yeah.
I feel like if next year this time we've played Jedi Survivor and Spider-Man 2, like there's a high chance that we're gonna have good, have good games to talk about. Like
Dude,
both of those,
that would be hard.
both of those are pretty great.
I don't know. What we'll
based
do.
on their prequels or their original first ones, you'd think if their sequels just add to what was already there,
hopefully,
then they'll
especially
be
because
awesome.
Spider-Man Venom's the main antagonist, which favored Spider-Man, probably favored villain in general of like superhero-y things.
Yeah, that was a good villain.
Yeah, anti-hero. Depending on the comic or the movie, but yeah, that Spider-Man 2 will be really fun. I forgot about that one. That'll be sweet.
Yeah, that'll be great. I had a blast with those games. That was fun when we did Miles Morales last year.
So fun. Yeah. I loved playing Spider-Man.
Yeah, those were great. So, and just what they did with them, even that progression from the first one to Miles Morales, just being that slight boost as like a side game, like just to think what they'll bring for the second one, like they're gonna do great. I'm sure.
It's gonna be so sweet.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Yep. That wraps up listener feedback. That's what we're looking forward to next year. So yeah, this wraps, I guess, our end of the year episode. And yeah, really thanks again for listening all this year, and I guess the past 5 times we've done this. That's pretty wild to still be talking about games, and that people like to talk about them with us and share on their thoughts and wanting to hear ours and stuff. So thanks for listening. Yeah, I don't know, pretty cool. Excited to see what 2023 brings. Just some of these games listed here and old games to revisit and stuff like that, or check out for the first time. I'm excited to see what will be on here next year. I think that's something I really like with these, is getting to look back at stuff I liked, but I don't know, even start to get ready for what's coming.
Yeah, I bet we'll be talking about Star Wars again.
Unless
it just sucks.
We just don't talk about it at all.
Like, remember when we said this, and then it was just trash.
I just hated it so much.
Yeah. They're gonna kill Cal off in the first 5 minutes.
If they kill his little robot, then I will feel that way.
Yeah, BD1?
Yeah, if they kill BD1, then I will feel that way.
Yeah, you would. You love little robot things.
I do. It's so cute. But yeah, if you've got other thoughts on favorite games, anything like that, and want to keep talking about it, hit us up on Twitter at StoryEverPod. Our website's TheGreatestStoryEverPlayed.com. That has a backlog of all of our episodes, including the different Greatest Story Ever Played awards shows that we did the last 4 years. So if you want to, check them all out and see what we thought, that'd be fun. Or any of these games along the way. All the games I mentioned that I played have episodes on them, and the ones Jordan's did beside Elden Ring do too. So if you want to check those out as well, there are episodes on those. If you'd like to support us financially, you could do that at patreon.com/thegreateststoryeverplayed. There, for as little as $1 per month, you can donate, and you'd get a monthly bonus episodes on there. I think there's around 40 at this point of episodes we put out each month about topical things like Star Wars. There's several episodes on there at this point. Or, video game things, revisiting games, whatever, stuff like that. So, yeah, go check that out. And, yeah, have a good one.
Yep, see ya.